Hey, welcome to the Explainer. So, you're gearing up for your GCP Professional Data Engineer Renewal? Well, you're in exactly the right place. We're about to break down everything you need to know. All right, let's just jump right in. Look, you've already passed this exam once, so you know your stuff. But things have seriously changed. Passing the renewal isn't just about dusting off old facts. It's really about getting your head around a pretty fundamental shift in how GCP even thinks about data. Yeah, the exam has moved way past simple definitions. It's not about what is X anymore. Now it's all about practical stuff, modern architecture, and some pretty sophisticated optimization. So our job here is to get you totally prepped for those new kinds of questions. Okay, so here's the plan. We're going to walk through 5 key shifts you absolutely have to master. We're talking everything from unified governance and data sharing all the way to in-database AI and smarter operational patterns. Let's do it. First up, unified data governance. And listen, if you take away one thing, make it this. The single biggest change you need to get is this industry-wide move away from scattered, siloed data and toward a centrally governed but still decentralized data mesh. So you see the difference, right? The old way was all about manually wrangling data siloed in cloud storage and BigQuery. The modern approach? It's all about using this intelligent fabric that unifies everything. It's really about automation and centralizing your governance, not necessarily your data.
And this is where Dataplex comes in. Honestly, Dataplex is the undisputed star of the show for this renewal exam. Think of it as Google's answer to teaming the chaos of these complex, decentralized data ecosystems. It's what makes everything discoverable and secure.
Okay, now why does this matter so much for the exam? Well, these key functions right here, data discovery, tracking lineage, quality validation, they map directly to scenarios you'll see in the sample questions. So when you get a question about discovery or lineage in a big, decentralized company, chances are Dataplex is your answer.
And this is just a brilliant illustration of the new way of thinking. The old pattern was, oh, I need to secure this data, let's move it all into BigQuery. No more. Now you use BigLake to query that data right where it lives, whether that's GCS or even an S3 bucket. And you still get all the fine-grained security from BigQuery. Game changer.
All right, next section. Let's talk about how the patterns for sharing data and building pipelines have been completely modernized. And I mean, forget the old, clunky methods. This is super important for the exam. The old way, granting direct IAM permissions on a dataset, hand-coding every single pipeline, that is now what I call a trap answer. The modern solutions are all about being governed, scalable, and you know what? A lot of them are low-code. So think about it. Instead of trying to manage hundreds of individual IAM permissions, you just publish a curated dataset to an analytics hub exchange. If you see a scenario on the exam about sharing data across teams or even whole organizations while keeping the operational overhead low, this is your answer. Okay, pay super close attention to this one, data fusion. For the exam, anytime you see keywords like GUI-based, no-code solution, or a scenario where you're moving a bunch of different file types and you need specific customer-managed encryption keys, your brain should just scream data fusion.
All right, now this next shift is genuinely fascinating. We're talking about doing machine learning and all this cool AI enrichment directly inside BigQuery. No more moving data around.
Right. So the whole point here is efficiency and security. It's a huge deal. Keeping your data inside BigQuery for ML tasks just radically simplifies your pipelines, it cuts down on data movement, and it makes governance so much easier. And it's not just a cool idea. The renewal exam guide specifically calls out preparing data for ML models using BigQuery ML. Now, you don't have to be a data scientist, but you absolutely have to understand how to use it from a data engineering point of view. And check this out. This is a brilliant example of a cutting-edge use case that is absolutely fair game for the renewal exam. Using BigQuery ML to create text embeddings from your unstructured data, that is the critical first step for building what's called a retrieval augmented generation, or RAG architecture. This is a core Gen AI pattern you just have to know. Okay, let's switch gears a bit and talk operations and security. The core concepts here have evolved too. We've moved way beyond the basic settings to much more sophisticated, automated controls. You see the theme, right? It's all about moving away from these blunt manual controls and toward fine-grained automated systems. And that applies across the board. managing your costs, locking down security, and squeezing out every bit of performance. Okay, listen up. The renewal exam absolutely expects you to know how to manage capacity with the new BigQuery additions. The old flex slots model, it's gone. Forget about it. You need to understand when to use reservations and what the key differences are between Standard, Enterprise, and Enterprise Plus. All right, let's lock in 2 more patterns that come straight from the sample questions. 1. If you need to make sure you have data privacy and compliance inside a pipeline, the answer is cloud data loss prevention. 2. You've got a real-time dashboard that needs insane speed. We're talking millisecond-level access. Memory Store is the right choice for that caching layer. Got it? Okay, it's time to bring this all home. Here is your final blueprint. This is what you need to guide your studies and really focus your attention on what truly matters for this renewal. This is it, your cheat sheet for the exam. Seriously, take a screenshot, burn this into your brain. If an answer choice on the exam looks like one of those legacy patterns on the left, it is almost certainly a trop. The modern solution on the right is what you should be looking for every single time. And that, right there, that is the core question the renewal exam is really asking you. It's not just testing what you know, it's testing if you've kept up. Master these modern patterns we've talked about, and believe me, you will be more than ready to pass. Good luck!